Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be build update number 3 on my Axial Yeti XL kit version. Now this thing has come together so quickly, and it's really nice kind of building a larger scale vehicle. Now of course the XL is claimed to be a 1/8 scale, but it definitely comes in closer to 1/6 scale. So judging by the shocks there, they are ginormous. So went ahead and got all of the electronics installed, and of course there's no mistake of which electronics I chose for this monster rig. I went with some very good qualified Tekin electronics. Now the first thing I installed was, of course, this is probably the fifth RX-8 Gen 2 here at the RC Network, and it's just tried, proven. I like it. It handles everything, and I know how to program it well. So very easily programmable with Hotwire straight on my laptop. So pretty cool, and of course it just bolts in so easily. Now for the motor that I chose for this one, I did go with a Tekin 1/8 scale motor. This is their T8 Gen 2, and they have two different sizes. They have the 4030 model number, and they also have a 4038. 4030 on this side being for 1/8 scale buggy. These 4038s are a little bit larger in diameter and length, and they're meant for 1/8 scale truggy. So of course I want more power and torque, so I went with the larger motor. I did choose the 2000 kV option because I do plan to run this on 4 and possibly 5S. So anyways, that is my motor selection. As far as servo, I was really tossed up. I had a couple of servos here, but I went ahead and I ordered in this Hitec 9380 servo. There's a separate unboxing of this and also that T8 motor, so I'll have that down in the video description. But this is one of their premium brushless, powered by Castle, ultra torque digital servos. Now this thing is not to be messed with. This thing is cranking out at 7.4 volts. You're getting right about 472 inches of torque there. Hopefully I can focus that in for you guys. There we go, 0.14 seconds, which is pretty decent at that amount of torque. So very great servo. It's a 25/2 spline, which I definitely like there. You can kind of see right there, they're kind of going to a standardization of the splines. It does come with its own kind of voltage cap there, the pad or power absorption device, which is pretty cool right outside the box. So very nice from Hitec. And this servo, I actually run the little brother to this in my not so RTR, so it just made sense to go with this thing. A couple other supplement items before I show you the rig here. I did pick up an OFNA aluminum servo horn. This is a CNC aluminum one. It's also clamping. I've used this in my Techno truck and a few other ones. Very nice servo horn, and it's really low profile, so it gets it really down low that the XL needs. Didn't want to raise it up any further than it needed to be. Lastly, I did go with some star plugs. These are Dean's compatible, so I can still use all my Dean batteries. But you know, just really kind of dig these new plugs. They have that kind of protection shroud that goes around, so you don't have to use any shrink wrap. Also has some grips there that the Dean's connectors kind of lack. So been using these as of late, and you know, they just solder on really nicely. So anyways, that's those things. Want to get some more use of those star plugs under my belt before I do a full review of those things. So, but here's the rig. It turned out great. Now, one thing that's really different between this Yeti and, of course, the 1/10 scale is there's just so much room on the chassis. With the 1/10 scale, you kind of have your servo like deep down, you know, kind of hidden, and you can't really work on it. So this one, everything's very well laid out. And it just, everything kind of makes sense. So one thing that does get in the way of installing a lot of things is that front chassis brace, that big plastic chassis brace right here. So keep that in mind when you're installing. I didn't get my servo until after, so it was a little bit kind of hard to get everything installed in there. But there's the 9380, turned out really nice. That nice OFNA servo horn has some chamfered edges there, but it's really low profile and gets everything down low that the servo arm actually needs. It kind of goes in between or underneath that chassis brace, and you kind of see it peeking out that other side right there. As far as the motor, that is probably almost the largest motor you can put in this thing. This is 77 millimeters in length. You might be able to fit an 80, maybe possibly like an 82, but it's going to get in the way of that rear sway bar. So keep that in mind. I do need to pick up a new sensor wire because it's not quite fitting to the RX-8. I kind of mounted it wrong, and I wanted it mounted this way just for aesthetics, but I need to get probably a 9-inch or possibly even 10-inch sensor wire. So that'll be down the road here, probably in the next couple days. But you can see that massive T8 motor. I mean, just it's monstrous in comparison to a 540 or even a 550. So very large diameter, very long in length. Should provide some very good torque that this huge monster buggy needs. Now, as far as the RX-8 mounted up, of course, like all my other ones, very easy to solder onto. I love the posts on that thing. One thing that's kind of weird on the XL is you have a ESC plate, but that also mounts to the receiver box, which is right below there. So a little bit weird. If you ever do need to get off your receiver box or get into it, you have to take your ESC off to get to the 4 bolts that mount to through the actual receiver box. So flip it over the other side here. The receiver box is quite small. I was actually only able to get the 2 wires in there, and you'll see my pad device or my voltage cap kind of sitting out. I don't plan to get this thing wet, so that's why I went with that kind of route. I have no issues with just driving this thing in nice dirt that's dry. So, but RX-8 mounted up great. Little short stubby antenna with my Spectrum receiver I have in there. Need to pick up that new sensor wire and we'll be all done. Well, guys, I cannot wait to show you the body of this thing. I've actually been working on it the last couple of days here. I got in some pretty cool items for it that I've not seen. I actually stumbled on it on accident, and I can't wait to show you guys. So that'll be episode 4. I do have a couple of unboxings. I have the T8, also that Hitec that I want to show you guys, and you'll probably see those maybe even before this video. So, well, that's it, guys. If you have any comments or questions, check out my Facebook page and also my thread on rccrawler.com. I'm going to have those links in the video description as well. I have lots of pictures, lots of comments and questions that are answered in those forums and also on my Facebook page. But if you didn't see it there, check out down below. I have comments and questions down there. Please feel free to leave those. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.